Well, hello there, and you've landed on it once again. Ask a Lawyer here on CP24. Good to have you along for the ride. It is 30 minutes. Please stick around for the entire thing. We promise one thing: we can educate you on workplace rights and employment law. John Scholes here, joining me momentarily on screen. My good pal, my partner in crime, and my co-host Lior Samfiru from EmploymentLawyer.ca. As we always say, you're encouraged. In fact, you should reach out to Lior with any issues in the workplace first before you sign anything, before you talk to your neighbor or go Googling. Always reach out to Lior and his team. Phone number 1-855-821-5900. Email ask@employmentlawyer.ca. It's really simple. We'll give that out throughout the show and some other contact information as well. We always have a main topic. If you watch the show before, that comes in the second segment. And bad boss blunders. I have to say it slower. I'm going to mess it up. Bad boss blunders, but it's key information. We'll get to that shortly. Some phone calls, questions. It is always a busy 30 minutes, right? So let's dive in and get right to it. Lior, as you know, we always start off, get us warmed up as you do with a case of the day. What do you got to bring to the show tonight? What's happening?
Hey, John, great to be here. This may well be the most important 30 minutes of TV that you're going to watch this week, because we're going to talk, as we always do, about such an important topic, about your rights in the workplace. Your rights in the place where you spend most of your time with. You spend more your time at work than you do with your family or at home or on vacation. This is the place where your rights are so important, because sometimes there's going to be issues, and we're here to talk about those issues. Maybe your boss is mistreating you, or your boss has imposed new terms of employment. Maybe you're put on a temporary layoff, or you lost your job. There's so many more situations, and in every one of those situations, you must understand your legal rights. You must understand how the law protects you, what your rights and options are. And that's what we do on this show every single week. But this is a 30-minute show, as I said, an important 30 minutes, but only 30 minutes. Beyond this show, you can easily reach me in the office by phone or email. We'll give you that contact information multiple times throughout the show. So don't be bashful. I want to roll up my sleeves and help you if you're facing a problem in the workplace. But now that we know what we're here to do, let's actually do it. Let me tell you about a situation that came across my desk very recently. Now, this is actually fairly common. People often reach out to me about an issue, about a problem, not knowing that there's a bigger problem that they should be concerned about. Well, this is a perfect example. I got an email from a gentleman who said that he recently lost his job, and he's been chasing his company for his record of employment ever since, and they've been ghosting him. He's been getting nothing from them. And he wanted to know how long his employer has to issue his record of employment. So I told the guy, listen, rather than me just email you back, let's have a quick call. So we got on the phone call, and here's what I learned from this guy. I learned that he had worked for his employer for about 6 years, and when he was let go because of restructuring, he was paid 12 weeks' pay. And he assumed it's fine, but now he wanted his record of employment. So what I told him is this: your employer actually has to issue a record of employment within 5 days of the pay period where you stop getting paid. But there's a bigger issue here. And I said, you're not owed 12 weeks pay. For him, he was owed 8 months pay. 8 months pay. Okay, that's about 34 weeks or so of pay. So 3 times essentially what he was offered. So that's what the issue is. He was owed much more than double what he was paid. He didn't know that. He just wanted his record of employment. I am glad he reached out to me. Now I've been retained to help him, not just get the ROE, that's going to be an easy task, but to get him his full severance. So many times people call me because they're upset that they didn't get their vacation pay or overtime pay or record of employment, and I get that, absolutely. But there may be a bigger issue. If you lost your job, chances are that the real issue you should be concerned about is your severance, because it's very likely that whatever the company's offered you is not the real amount. It's not the real amount that you're owed. That's why you have to reach out to me.
And how did Lior know that so quickly? Well, we'll get to that later on the show. We'll actually show how it works. But right off the top here, EmploymentLawyer.ca, there's a severance calculator. You'll see how that works in a few minutes from now. Want to get to a viewer phone call, Lior? They're always really interesting. So let's get into that, see if we can provide some answers on the tail end, right?
Being laid off, and I was just wondering, our company they didn't renew their lease. They're giving another company their work that I did. They're paying them to do it.
The real issue is that of severance. How long have you worked for this company for?
21 years, 8 months.
What kind of a job and how old?
60, and it's a warehouse supervisor.
How much severance they've offered you?
9 months.
And this is exactly the type of situation, John, I was talking about earlier, and that is severance, the issue of getting the proper severance that you're owed. There can be many reasons and many circumstances as to why the company has chosen to let you go, to part ways with you. And the vast majority of those reasons are legal, because an employer generally can let you go for any reason as long as proper severance is paid. So the issue here, as I said to this caller, is severance. What we need to know if 9 months is the appropriate severance here. I can tell you the appropriate amount, but I want to show you how you can find out what the appropriate amount is for you. So we're going to use our severance calculator tool. You can find that at EmploymentLawyer.ca. Let's use that right now for this caller and see what we get. So been there for 21 years, she's 60 years old, was offered 9 months severance. You see right there at the bottom that she's owed anywhere from 20 to 24 months of severance. That's more than double what she was offered. That's why you reach out. That's why you use the severance calculator. Again, free and anonymous. Check it out right now, EmploymentLawyer.ca.
We are going to keep rolling here, Lior. Stand by momentarily. Get into our first break of the show, so stick around for that. 3 bad boss blunders. There you go. I knew I would get it eventually. That's on the other side as we continue Ask a Lawyer here on CP24. Stay with us.
Lost your job? Disability denied? Ask a Lawyer is here for you. Each week, experts from EmploymentLawyer.ca answer your questions. Visit cp24.com/askalawyer and watch Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on CP24.
Okay, and welcome back to Ask a Lawyer, CP24. Thank you so much for sticking around with us through the break. Always reach out to Lior and his team with any questions outside this half hour, right? 1-855-821-5900. There you go. Ask at EmploymentLawyer.ca and scan that QR code on the right side of your screen. It is main topic time 3, bad boss blunders. Here we go, Lior. Number 1, these are beauties too. My boss is slowly taking away my key clients and giving them to his buddy. What should I do about that?
So we're talking about things your boss shouldn't be doing, but may be doing, because I've seen it happen, and this is a good example. Your boss is taking away some of your responsibilities, and maybe they're giving it to someone maybe they like more, maybe a family friend or someone else. Well, guess what? That could be a significant change to the terms of your employment. If this means that you could be considered as having been demoted, or if this impacts your pay, that could be a constructive dismissal. Your employer does not have the right to make significant changes to terms of employment. Now, that doesn't mean we can physically stop your employer from doing it. But what it does mean is you may be able to consider your employment as being terminated if your boss is taking away those responsibilities, if he's giving you more duties that are not favorable, not as lucrative, maybe where the hours are different, or maybe it's, again, just less prestigious responsibilities. All those things can easily be a constructive dismissal. So if your boss is making that blunder, taking away your responsibilities, we need to talk. Before you do anything, before you walk off the job, that could be a constructive dismissal, so call me to discuss.
Okay, bad boss blunder number 2, Lior. And after yet another angry personal rant from my boss, in front of the whole team, mind you, I quit. I can't take it. Can I take it back, though?
So, John, we call this the heat of the moment resignation. You kind of exploded, you're at your wit's end, and you tell your employer, that's it, I'm gone, I'm out of here, I never want to come back here again. But you go home, you calm down, and you realize, wait a second, that's a mistake. I'm no longer all riled up, I want to go back to work. Well, guess what? You are able to retract that resignation. You are able to take back that heat of the moment resignation as long as you do it quickly. So you want to do it immediately, but certainly within a day or two. And if you do that and your boss doesn't let you come back, that now switches to become a termination. And you're going to be owed your severance, all right? Now, if you waited too long, or if your bosses relied on it and they went out and hired someone new, you may not be able to take it back. But generally, if you take it back quickly and your boss won't let you, they have to pay you severance. So heat of the moment happens. The key is to take it back quickly.
The third one for the main topic on the show of bad boss blunders, Lior. We saved the best one for last. So my boss fired me and said I haven't earned the right to severance. Can he deny me that severance?
So first of all, your boss doesn't decide if you get severance. The law does that. And you've earned your right to severance if you had a job and you've lost your job. So no, you don't have to earn that right. It's automatically there for you if you lost your job. And your boss has no say in that. Company doesn't get to make that decision. Whether you work for a few months, a few years, many years, you are owed your full severance. That could be as much as 24 months pay. And I want to remind you that just because you worked somewhere for a short period of time, maybe you've only worked for a few months, it doesn't mean you get little severance or no severance. Yes, you're going to get a substantial amount of severance even if you've worked for a company for a short period of time. So it doesn't matter how long you've worked or the type of job. If you lost that job, you got to call me so that we can make sure you get what you're owed.
We still have time to get to another phone call, Lior, viewer phone calls. We love them, play in the back here and learn from them. So here we go. Number 2 is coming up. Listen up, pal.
I work for an employer, and they're putting me down to 3 days a week. It's a small company, though, so I don't know if, like from what I've read, if you work for a very small company, you're only entitled to termination pay and not severance. Is that correct?
Did you used to work 5 days a week?
Yes.
Incorrect.
Incorrect. So absolutely, that's a huge misconception. The size of the company or the company's payroll does not factor into your full severance entitlements. Your minimum entitlements may be affected by the size of the company, but your full severance has nothing to do with that. Whether you work for a company with 1 employee or 1,000 employees, you're going to be owed severance. So yes, severance has to be paid. They don't get to avoid that. Now, of course, in this case, if they reduce the hours or the days from 5 days to 3 days, as I was saying earlier, that's a constructive dismissal. She would be entitled to severance. And the fact that she works for a small company does not change that. That severance could be as much as 24 months pay. So if you're lost your job in a small company, yes, you're owed severance. If your employer changed your hours of work, reduce your days of work, that could be a constructive dismissal that, again, entitles you to severance. In either of those situations, you want to call me right away.
Okay, Lior, we are moving on. We're taking a short pause right here. On the other side of the break, we're going to flip over to the disability portion of the show, the other half of what the firm does with Lior and his team. So stick around for that as we continue more Ask a Lawyer here on CP24.
Lost your job? Disability denied? Ask a Lawyer is here for you. Each week, experts from EmploymentLawyer.ca answer your questions. Visit cp24.com/askalawyer and watch Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on CP24.
And we have returned. Thank you for staying through the break. Ask a Lawyer here on CP24. We'd like to switch gears about this time every week of the show and talk a little bit about disability law, the other half of what the firm does. To reach out to that side of the firm, Lior and his team, the number remains the same, right? 1-855-821-5900. But now it is help@disabilityrights.ca. Either email is fine, but help@disabilityrights.ca works magic. Now, I could explain exactly what the disability portion of the firm does, Lior, but you are much more concise at explaining that. So go ahead, pal. I'm not going to confuse anybody. You can take the reins on this one.
So just like we have a whole team helping people deal with any issues with the employer, with your employer, former employer, we have a whole team at the office helping people dealing with disability issues, and specifically with disability insurers, whether it's a private insurance company or CPP disability, which is the government paid disability benefits. And the reason we need to have a whole team dealing with these issues because of the fact that it's very common for the insurance company to get it wrong, to deny benefits to people that should be getting benefits, to cut off from benefits those individuals that still need to be on and can't go back to work. It is common. It is so sad to see that. Imagine a situation where you can't work, you're injured or you're sick, and you need some compensation so you can continue living. You have an insurance policy you've paid for, and now that insurance company is saying, we just don't think you deserve these benefits. We don't let that happen. Our team is going to make sure that the insurance company pays what it owes. And often when they hear from us, they just back off completely. So if you're in that situation, if you've applied for disability benefits and been denied, or you've been told you're going to be cut off those benefits, you need to call us right away. Our team will get involved and help you immediately.
And again, don't hesitate to call that side of the firm with Lior, because consultations are free, right? So you have nothing holding you back in that regard. Let's get to a viewer phone call as it relates to the disability side, Lior, so listen up.
I'm calling about my daughter. She's been on long-term disability for PTSD ever since she was in a bad car accident almost 2 years ago. Her insurance company just told her they plan to cut her off in a few months. She's still not able to work, and I'm worried about what's going to happen when those payments stop. Does she have any rights?
Coming up in the old 2-year mark, huh? Typical.
Well, it's a terrible situation, and she's right to be concerned, because what does she do when those payments end? There's not going to be the ability to support yourself. It is very common for an insurance company to try to cut off benefits at that 2-year mark. There's a term in the policy that the insurance company tries to rely on as the basis to cut people off, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you can't work, and you know you can't, and your doctor is telling you that you cannot work, that insurance company should not be cutting you off, whether it's after 2 months or 2 years. They shouldn't be. It's not their right to do so. Now, this is especially common in a situation where you're dealing with an injury that you can't necessarily see on an x-ray. In this case, it's PTSD. The insurance company may often say, well, you seem okay, the x-ray doesn't show anything, so you can go back to work. We know that's nonsense. Whether it's PTSD or various medical health or mental health issues, those could be debilitating. So no, the insurance company doesn't get to make that call. If you can't work and your insurance company doesn't want to pay you or tell you that they're going to stop paying you, you got to call our team right away.
Let's move on to a quick email question, Lior. Here you go for this segment. It says, if I lose my LTD appeal through the insurance company, is that the end of the road?
So here's how that works, John. The insurance company is going to say, okay, we denied your claim, you're not going to get benefits, but here's what you can do. There's an appeal process internally. Just apply for that. You apply for that, you get denied, and you say, well, I tried, I guess there's nothing to do. Well, yes, there is. That appeal process, frankly, is a sham. It doesn't work. It's there to try to frustrate you. It's not going to be approved. You're appealing to the people that have already said you don't get benefits. So don't waste your time with that. There's a legal process that we can engage to get you those benefits. If your doctor supports you, you don't need to go to that appeal process and wait and delay and get frustrated. Let us engage that legal process. Let us force the insurance company to do what they're supposed to, which is to pay you. So don't waste your time with that appeal process.
Good stuff, Lior. Thank you so much. We're going to take a short pause here, bounce back over to the employment side, from bank manager to bare minimum. That's where we're going on the other side of this break. So stick around for it as we continue more Ask a Lawyer here on CP24.
Lost your job? Disability denied? Ask a Lawyer is here for you. Each week, experts from EmploymentLawyer.ca answer your questions. Visit CP24.com/askalawyer and watch Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. on CP24.
Alrighty, welcome back. Ask a Lawyer on CP24. Again, I will give you the contact information to reach out to Lior and his team anytime on your own time. Phone number 1-855-821-5900. Email. Do both at the same time. Ask at EmploymentLawyer.ca and scan that QR code as well. We will wrap up the show this week, Lior, with our third phone call. So listen up. Here it comes.
So I was fired last week after being a bank manager for the past 15 years. And the severance offer I received only consists of 8 weeks' pay. When I asked why it wasn't more, they can afford it. They're one of Canada's largest banks. I was told that was all I was owed as a federally regulated employee. Is that true?
So John, right off the bat, there's two things I want to point out. First of all, just because you work for a large, sophisticated organization, in this case it's a bank, that does not mean that they know how much they have to give you. That does not mean that your severance offer is going to be fair. There's just as much of a chance with a big employer that your offer is inadequate. And of course, the second thing I'll tell you is this: a federally regulated employer has the same full severance obligations as any other employer, as a provincially regulated employer. So this employer, this bank, got it wrong. How much severance is this person actually owed? We're going to go once more to our severance calculator tool. Of course, you can find that at pocketemploymentlawyer.ca. You see that address on the screen. Let's see how much the right amount of severance is. Bank manager, 65 years of age, been there for 15 years, long time. Bank says, yeah, 8 weeks is all you get, buddy. Wrong. You can see right at the bottom, he's owed as much as 20 months, not weeks, but 20 months of severance. That's what the law provides for him. So by the way, you at home, free and anonymous, check out PocketEmploymentLawyer.ca. Whether you've lost your job, are worried about losing your job, or maybe you're just curious, find out there how much severance you're owed.
8 weeks to 20 months, they're not even the same ballpark. That's not even the same sport, Lior. That's crazy.
And John, I wish I told you that this is some unique case, that we picked this call because it's so outrageous and so unique. Yes, it is outrageous, but it's not unique. I speak with people in exactly this situation every day, multiple times a day, in fact, all the time. So it's not unusual for someone to be owed many times what they've been offered. That's why I'm here to tell you, whether you work for a big company or small company, do the right thing. Let's talk about your severance offer no matter what.
And that'll pretty much do it for us for another week. Again, you can always make that calculation on your own quickly at PocketEmploymentLawyer.ca. Of course, this show's on Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. here on CP24. Beyond that, always reach out to Lior and his team. Phone number 1-855-821-5900. Ask at EmploymentLawyer.ca. And for anything else, CP24.com/AskALawyer. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you next week.